Hi, it's Dr. Sherry with Titan Elite Coaching. This is the video series on what kind of coaching do you need in your real estate career as you kind of advance through the stages of your career. We've talked about the beginning stages. We've talked about kind of the second stage, which is around year 3, probably through 5 or 6. And now we're going to talk about what does your real estate career look like kind of around year 7 and probably through the end of your career as a real estate agent, however long that ends up being. So at this point in your career, there's probably a couple things that have happened. You have made a decision, most likely, either that you're going to continue on your career as a solo agent and figuring out what that's going to look like. You've already figured out up to this point, and so it would be continuing on that path. Or you might have already made a shift to either join a team and be part of a team or to create your own team. And some have actually taken the brave and interesting choice of, creating their own brokerage. There's a lot of challenges with that. And so I know a lot of agents that have chosen that they don't want to do that because the value add of having their own brokerage does not at all give enough value to the amount of work, the amount of risk and responsibility that very small percentage of income that they're losing by paying a brokerage, it just isn't worth it. But you may have decided to go that route, and that is just fine. So at this point, though, kind of those are some of the most common paths in the real estate world as an agent. So there's two kinds of coaching that I would kind of want you to think about. First is leadership coaching. If you have chosen at this point to be a solo agent, you've probably hired an assistant at this point. If you want to be as maximally beneficial as you can with your time as an agent, you want to delegate the responsibilities of your job that do not require an actual license. So have an assistant and know how to work and delegate to them well. And so you are in a leadership position to them. The second one is if you have joined a team, you might be rising in the ranks of that team a bit. So you've got a brokerage and you've got a team lead. You might then be part of the leadership in that as well with people under you that you're mentoring, which I think is an extremely important and valuable phase of your career. People have poured into you up to this point. And so give back, pour into someone else. The other benefit that has, besides just kind of giving back and the feeling good that is for you, is that keeps you accountable so that all the things that you've learned up to this point, if you're teaching it, you probably should be doing it. So it keeps you accountable, which is a very good thing. So if you're kind of in some sort of leadership structure, it's important for you to understand how do you relate best to the people that you're mentoring and that you have responsibility over. So that leadership training can be also combined with the other kind of coaching that I think is extremely beneficial, and that's the high performance coaching that I do. Often it does center around leadership work as well. But the reason at this stage that high performance coaching is so important is because around year 7, there seems to be this cycle in the real estate world of people getting burnt out. They have learned the skills, the foundation of what they need to do to be a good agent. And then they get out there and they're pouring their heart and soul and time and energy into it. And there's only so much time that you can devote to something 100% often before you start to notice that your time and energy, or your energy, is decreasing because your time is getting consumed. Now, if you're not doing it with real intentionality around how you do it, that's where the burnout happens. Real estate takes over your life, and people in your life are starting to get angry with you. So you try to increase your giving in those areas, but then that means that you decrease at work, which then doesn't feel good, doesn't work good. You start losing money, start losing a little bit of traction. So it's constantly like you're juggling these things and balls are falling, and it gets very overwhelming and exhausting, and burnout can happen. The cool thing is that it doesn't have to, or that's the good news, is that it doesn't have to. High performance coaching is all around understanding what habits you need to have in place in your life that will save you from burnout. It keeps you focused on the clarity of your mission. Why are you doing what you're doing? It keeps you focused on your time and energy actually going into the most important priorities of everything that you want to happen, not necessarily the urgency of, somebody that's sending you an email like, I need this now. No, it's not always about other people's urgency. It's about you setting your own sense of urgency and working out of that. That's just a few of the things in high performance coaching that we address. But the point of it is simply this: we want you to be super, super successful. In the terms of Grant Cardone, we want you to 10x your life. No, scratch that. We want you to 100x your life. But how do you do that and then maintain that 100x? So that's where the high performance is we get you to perform, or we help you perform, but then we also help you maintain it. So when you are looking at year 7 or 8 and through the rest of your career, that's what I want you to think about. Is you are probably successful, but please don't fall into the trap that, well, I'm successful, therefore it'll be easy to maintain that success, because that's actually not necessarily true. That is one of the mindsets that can burn you out. So recognize that there's a shift there, and let somebody come beside you and help you with that shift so that you do actually maintain that amazing success that you've gotten already. If you haven't listened to the previous 2 videos on the first 2 phases of a development, the developmental milestones of a real estate agent, I would encourage you to. So thanks for listening. If you want high performance coaching, I would be delighted to have a conversation with you about it. This is my passion, and I want you to succeed. Probably not as much as you do, because nobody wants you to succeed as much as you do, but I am cheering for you and I'm rooting for you, and I want this to happen in your life. So email me, drsherryflewellen@gmail, or feel free to visit our website at titanelitecoaching.com. I look forward to hearing from you.